For generations, it's been part of Native American culture and ceremony. Smoke from the pipe. It is the visible breath of the participant and stands for truthful words, actions, and a truthful spirit. It is used sparingly and with respect. But changing times have brought a different kind of smoke to Native Americans. Today, tobacco use is often not part of a sacred ceremony. It is recreational, a violation of our culture and heritage. It brings disease, suffering, and untimely death. We are dedicated to stopping it, returning to the traditions of our ancestors, keeping tobacco sacred, remembering who we are. Tribes in Montana are a big part of this effort. We talk with them, learn from them, and rediscover the Indian culture, then educate all people about tobacco use through talk, the written word, and media.
My name is Richard Littlebear, and I am the president of Chief Knife College. I quit smoking about 32 years ago, and I was up to smoking 2 packs a day, and probably more when I was drinking. But now I've quit for all those years, and yet I'm still feeling the effects of that. And I really wish I hadn't smoked. Originally, the use of tobacco and the use of other things that we used to smoke were just for traditional uses. They were not for use for just smoking indiscriminately. And I think that if we quit smoking, if we did not smoke, it would not only save us money, we could also maintain good health. And that way, we'd also have a better idea and know who we are as Cheyenne people.
My cousin had lung cancer. He would used to come to the house a lot, and my mom would say, "You better quit smoking, it's not good." And he would tell her, "I'm all right, Auntie. I started at a young age and I'm still okay today." And then pretty soon he came and he said, "Auntie, I need to show you something." And he brought the pictures of his lungs. The other side was just black, the other one was okay. And he said, "They're gonna do surgery and get rid of the bad one and I'll be all right. And I'll quit smoking then, Auntie." And they did the surgery, but it already spread to the other one. And when he came back, he said it had already spread to the other one, and there's nothing I can do. He said, "Surgery won't do any good." He said, "Even though I did chemo, it has gone too far." And eventually it got to his esophagus, and when he was still talking, he said, "I pray that all my kids won't smoke after seeing what I'm going through now." And that's mine too. I was telling her, I said, that's my prayer too.
I stopped smoking 2 years ago to live long enough to know and love my great-grandchildren. Don't forget your grandfathers, grandmothers, uncles, and aunties.
The reason I quit smoking was because of my heart problems. I experienced the emergency room and heart surgery, so I went cold turkey from commercial tobacco so that my grandchildren will not feel the pain. We need to protect our health, our culture, our children, and ourselves. The time is now to honor our ancestors' sacrifices.
And what I want to say is tobacco was used in different ways in ceremonies and stuff they do. And we should not use it any other way too, because it destroys our lives. I know the advertisements are very enticing to the younger generation, but so don't use tobacco, the younger generation. Don't even think about it. Chanun peshni, chanun paghe shicha umpap shni.
Ne'iasin, ne'isa it watsi, a'ananin, a'ananin. Hello, good afternoon. My name is Clarina Brocky. I'm a Grovant, or a'ananin, white clay from the Fort Dunlop Indian Reservation. I'm a traditional Indian woman, and I participate in ceremonies, and at which time I do smoke during maybe our sweats or our Sundance ceremonies or sings. For us, it's a real sacred item for us, tobacco. But sometimes tobacco is misused. I don't believe in smoking all the time because it affects our health in so many different ways. I just think that it should be kept for ceremonies, but we want to stay healthy as a people. So with that, I'd just like to leave with you. A in none, knock, B in hen. Thank you very much. Ija hats.
Remember who you are.
My ancestors didn't keep our family together.
For me to die of lung cancer from commercial tobacco.
We are the next generation and we need to protect our health,
our culture, our children, and ourselves.
This time is now to honor our ancestors' sacrifices.
Remember who you are. Kiskase Uinakia.
If you want to quit, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
brought to you by the Department of Public Health and Human Services and the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act.
Remember who you are.
My grandfather didn't hold on to our traditions for me to die of heart disease from commercial tobacco.
We are the next generation and we need to protect
our health, our culture, our children, and ourselves.
The time is now to honor our ancestors' sacrifices.
Remember who you are.
Kiskatanchi Uinakia.
If you want to quit, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Brought to you by the Department of Public Health and Human Services and the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act.
Our future lies in the hopes and dreams of our children, but corporate tobacco threatens their well-being.
Secondhand smoke is full of dangerous, deadly chemicals.
It is our responsibility to protect them from addiction and exploitation. Keep the air we breathe clean. Protect our next generation.
If you want to quit, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. That's 1-800-784-8669. Brought to you by the Montana DPHHS and the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act.
Chaus ta estina upna taken swanten quenquaus ne putin quenum sem.
Oh
My family didn't survive and overcome hardships
for me to die from commercial tobacco.
Our health is much better off when we do not smoke.
We need to protect our health,
our culture, our children, and ourselves.
The time is now to honor our ancestors' sacrifices.
Remember who you are.
If you want to quit tobacco, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Brought to you by the Department of Public Health and Human Services and the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act.
Our families didn't survive and overcome numerous hardships
so that I would die from commercial tobacco. We are the next generation.
We need to protect our health, our culture, and ourselves.
The time is now to honor our heritage
and honor our ancestors' sacrifices.
Remember who you are.
If you want to quit tobacco, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Brought to you by the Department of Public Health and Human Services and the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act.
We hope that you all discover something that you can take home with you, remembering our culture, our knowledge, our suffering, and our heritage.
An wakumagantik. Nisi kaswan waga yus kapeta smuhtet. In musuma kuge. Mikibes yutagos agihtit. Egumina. Makisis agihtit. Living for the children. My name is Gary Fox. I am a member of the 13-star Peace Flag of the Ojibwe. I'm telling the story for the people so that others will not have to go through what I and my family and community went through. It started with knowing I couldn't taste anything. Then I noticed that I couldn't sing a full song. I sing American Indian traditional songs for community members as well as family. I knew there was something wrong, so I went to see my regular doctor. He diagnosed it as thrush. Although I knew it was something more than just thrush. I immediately decided to get a second opinion. I made an appointment with a doctor I knew I could trust. There was a long wait where I had many negative thoughts, feelings for the worse, and thoughts for my children and grandchildren that would affect them for the rest of their lives. This doctor listened to my concerns and examined me and told me the news: you may have cancer. I'm referring you to an ear, nose, and throat specialist. Gee. Again, it was a long way to my thoughts and worries. What next? Then it happened so fast that this doctor, he confirmed it was cancer, and his recommendation was immediate surgery to remove the cancer, which was under my tongue. He gave me the time I needed to think about it. My immediate reply was, right away, the sooner the better. Then again, there was a long wait, but this time I got to reflect on my life. The good, the bad, and my feelings were all good, and I knew I was going to beat it. With the help of my wife, children, grandchildren, and community members. On the day of my surgery, Gloria and God came as my support. The surgery was like a dream, slow, and an ordeal. We were told that I've gone home, or as they say, flatline on the surgery table. And even in recovery, it was hard to wake up. I kept going back to my grandfather's hand. I hung on. The final call was my son Gabby saying out loud, "Pa." He brought me back. Jeez. Although the outcome was good, we as a family are back to teaching friends and family the ways of the people's traditional, cultural, and spiritual values to keep up with my grandfather, the late George Rutender. So I think all's well, living for my grandchildren.